Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of First Impressions on the Scratch the Track podcast presented by the Dude and Grim Show and co-produced by Mr. EST. I am the Dude.
And I am Grim. And today we are going not to Timeland, to the land before Timeland with hypertension. Laminated Denim. And dude, each of us have two of the three different actual denim jacket variants that I think were being called the tour edition or something, because apparently I didn't realize this, but it was written up here that the first Red Rock show, which we were at, was the first time that this lovely album was for sale, and it was 1 or 2 days before its release, before its official release.
It was a couple days before. Yeah. I thought that was cool, and I know our co-producer, Mr. IVEST,
picked it up.
He also happened to be at the show. Yeah, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And then we were lucky enough to go see King Gizzard again in Detroit.
Less than a week later. Did not make the mistake again.
No, and you spent a lot of time in line waiting to go up there and get it. And
but it was during the opening act, which, I mean, no disrespect. Yeah, but we'd already seen it. So, I mean, I was kind of okay just like hanging out with other friend Tony and just kind of drinking some beers in line and shooting the breeze. So, it wasn't terrible. Yeah,
but it is cool. So, I mean, this is the second, I guess, of the 3 October albums. We did an episode on
trilogy.
The first one. We're also going to do one on Changes. But yeah, it was really cool that they kind of put it out there in this form. And it was also really cool that, I think the first time we had heard it, because it hadn't been out yet, is they played the song Land Before
Timeland as the intermission.
It was as the intermission, because it was a marathon show. And
if you were not aware,
but it was pretty sweet because they had a 15-minute intermission, and so they put a clock up on the screen, with a 15-minute countdown. It started playing this, and as soon as the song got done, they came back on stage and started the second half of the show. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah, the second half of the marathon set.
Yeah. And you know what? One thing I didn't really realize at first, but this is the title, Laminated Denim, is in anagram. I'm not going to say that.
They basically just take all the letters and make something else out of the same letters. Yeah.
Which is not easy to do. A lot of times you have a word or a phrase or something, you mix it up, and it's
I would have been sitting on that one for a minute.
Yeah, you have some leftovers, but
I think so.
I'm surprised. Yeah, must have done this in between tracks. I don't know. How they came up with it. But,
now, one thing that I think is very interesting is that if you look at the genre, I always just thought of it as more of a jam thing, but once they said this, it made sense. But they called it krautrock, which is kind of a reference to early 70s, mainly German, which the kraut thing, which somehow
hopefully that's not offensive to anyone out there.
Dude, it is a widely used term in music, so it must be okay.
It'll still piss somebody off.
Well, yeah, for sure. But they talk about the beat and sort of the style being after that, that is just this experimental, completely non-blues based sort of rock music. Mm-hmm. And the whole reason for that departure, was because, dude, you had a lot of bands who were, a lot of the British and American bands who were so influenced by the blues, and it was so prevalent in the music. These guys in Germany at the time, wanted to do something else. So they specifically referenced Can and Neu, which are probably two of the best examples of this kind of music you could do. And the thing that I think is interesting is they talk about this, the term called a motoric beat, which basically is like, I think it literally translates to like automotive precision or like motor like precision, where it's just you know what I mean? It's not going in and out of time. I mean, it is right there, and it's very precise. And they talked about the ticking of the clock on this one, but it's not quite like Timeland is, where Timeland has that very distinct clock ticking throughout it. I feel like this one, although it has maybe that beat, is not driven by the clock. It's like drums, you know? Okay.
I gotcha. So during our first impressions, we always pick what our favorite song is. So which one is it? You got, it's 50-50,
you got a 50-50 shot here.
Yeah. Which one are you going with? Do you like one more than the other for any particular reason, or do you just like all of them?
I do. I do like all of them, but for something about Hypertension, when that song starts, the guitar part very much reminds me of Street Spirit Fade Out, by Radiohead.
It's interesting you say that, because when I was listening to it, there's actually a different Radiohead song that it reminded me of.
Oh,
what's that? That is the song Weird Fishes off In Rainbows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. It just the
way the beat is.
Yeah.
I can see that with the beat.
But I can see, it was funny because I remember you saying Street Spirit as well, and I was like,
yeah, that guitar part, I think it's probably even in the same key.
Probably. You're a genius.
Yeah.
I it's hard to choose a definitely a favorite. I mean, I guess I go. I do like the Land Before Timeland. I say the first one, but dude, it does something cool around the 12-minute mark, where there is a nice transition in the car.
Yeah, it starts to go into like the second part, and then it stops, and then you flip it.
Yeah, and then you flip it. Yeah, but yeah, you get some trippy synth in there, and I don't know. There's like some guitar scratching a little bit too, and everything.
Yeah, it's one of those. It is kind of like just a real sort of jammy kind of thing, but it's something that I don't know. I've already listened to it probably like between 5 and 10 times. I like it. It's something that I like to have on.
Well, it's something easy to put on.
Now, how do you, because it is considered the spiritual, like the spiritual, not predecessor, but the successor, the spiritual successor to Made in Timeland, does one stack up to you as better than the other?
I just think of them as all as one and the same.
Oh,
no, not really. I mean, I kind of do think of them sort of as in the same breath, pretty much.
Oh, they are. I mean,
they are
2 30-minute albums of 15-minute songs.
Well, it's going to be interesting if this sort of becomes a little bit of a theme, because I mean, anybody who follows King Gizzard knows that they can just put stuff out.
Yeah,
and it's not crap. Like it's good stuff.
Yep.
And so it'll be interesting if they do this a little more. Like, hey, yeah, we're just gonna put out,
they only do 2-track 30-minute albums.
Yeah. I mean, that would be really interesting.
Do you know about Quarters, right? Quarters is one I have it too, and I know about No Quarter. I got a real nice version of it when they repressed it this last year, but Quarters is one they did that's 4 tracks, and each song is 10 minutes and 10 seconds long, and there's 2 of them on a side.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's also just a cool album. It's a little more I'd say it's a little less sort of jammy than this one. I don't think Made in Timeland is being really jammy at all. Made in Timeland to me is like awesome. It just goes through everything you could think of, including techno and like tribal. I mean, it's awesome. I still like to listen to that.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I don't understand between the two, and we kind of talked offline about this, is the way that the LP is formatted.
Yes.
Because Made in Timeland is, for all intents and purposes, exactly the same in terms of its setup
Yeah.
However, they released that one as a 45 and this one as a 33.
Yeah. Which I'm not sure. Somebody out there who's smarter than us, please like, subscribe, and let us know below.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, please do.
Because it's interesting, why they would do that. Like, why would you do that? There's no issues of fitting it on, Yeah,
you're not going to run out of room.
There's no time constraints, right? Yeah, you're not going to run out of room.
No pun intended. Now, an interesting thing, though, is a lot of people, I think there's a debate out there that they think that anything, and you can make the argument that if you think of things in terms of, as we do now, of like sample rates, a 45 has, I can't call it a sample rate because it's not what it is, but you understand what I mean. A 45 is just, theoretically speaking, it should be higher quality. Right. It's like when you think of tapes that run at a higher speed should sound better than the slower ones. That's why in the old VHS days, when you would put your VHS tape on SLP, the movies looked especially like shit. But you could fit like 3 of them on one tape.
Dude, 6 hours, man. Yeah.
But by that same principle, a 45 record in the same amount of time should be about, 33% better in terms of sound quality. Now, I don't hear that. To me, they both sound phenomenal. I don't hear any sonic quality differences, but it's that I just found that interesting when you look at that.
Yeah.
So
no, it is for sure. Well, I think that about wraps up our first impressions of.
Wrap that bitch up in a denim sleeve, my friend.
Laminated denim. Yeah.
First impression.
If you can get your hands on one of those, like on Discogs, they're going for
luck.
They're going for a pretty penny right now,
dude. Of course, because of the way things are with them. I mean, I pre-ordered the trilogy of them when they announced they were going to be released like months ahead of time. And so I have the Made in Greenland version, dude. That's even going for like a significant little penny.
Crazy.
At this
point.
If
you guys can pick them up, or they're still on tour, I'm sure they're still on tour somewhere and selling some of these. But yeah, I definitely pick them up, and we recommend this one. And we are also, if you haven't checked out our first impressions for, what is it? Lungs, mushrooms, death, fire, and something. Like I still can't get that title right.
Well, but, you know what? What's funny? I watched an interview with Stu, Cav, and Ambrose, and they were talking about doing, I think, that album, or at least they were talking about the trilogy, and it was from an Australian TV channel, and it was funny because the guy, I think he actually got the list right, but he didn't think he did, and I think Stu was like, it doesn't matter.
That's awesome. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So if you haven't seen that first impression, that should be have already come out. We did a concert review of the first Red Rock show by King Gizzard, and we got a first impressions coming out very soon of Changes. And if I can also get my shit together, there might even be some vinyl unboxing, so we'll get a little more in depth here. But
just to you mean the first Red Rock show, to clarify?
The first one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Not the compromise second
draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. It is time to go
on the Dude Grim Show. Scratch the Track is produced by the Dude Grim. Additional music provided by More. That's ... MORE, and the Tims, TIMNZ. Copyright 2022. The Dude Grim Show.